Hello, friends. So the other day I was out and about after hours. Ooh la la, right? Some might even say I was out past my curfew, and that inspired me actually afterwards to do some digging and look up the history of the word curfew, where that word comes from, and kind of its origin story. And honestly, what I found was quite enlightening, which is interesting because enlightening is basically the opposite of what curfew traditionally meant. So actually, the concept of the curfew dates back to the Middle Ages, and the curfew back then was a physical object used to cover fires. And so William the Conqueror, for example, imposed a rule in medieval England for a bell to be rung at 8 p.m. during the winter and sunset in the summer. And when this bell was rung, a residents would have to go into their house and use the curfew to cover up the fire. And usually in that period, fireplaces were on the floor in the living room. Apparently, it's dangerous to have a blazing fire in the middle of your living room. Who knew? And especially when you're leaving it blazing overnight while you're sleeping. So the curfew would have holes for oxygen to get in, and so that way when you put the curfew on the fire would still smolder overnight without going out entirely. And then from there, it can continue to burn the next morning. So in English, curfew comes from the Old French couvre-feu. And Old French is actually the language spoken by William the Conqueror, and so curfew is derived from this medieval practice. And then also, besides the modern French word for curfew, couvre-feu, you can also see a similar origin story in Italian, coprifuoco, which actually literally means the same thing. Curfew in Dutch, also avondklok, Spanish, toque de queda, toque de recolher in Portuguese. These are all terms that derive from ringing a bell to announce that fire should be put out. And so they're all derived from the same medieval practice. So anyway, that's the story of curfew. And so next time you hear the bell at 8 p.m., you'll know what to do. Thanks for listening.